Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two. I'm here with Marc. We're chilling. Another day in quarantine. Marc, what's going on, man?
What up? Nothing much, man. It seems like you and I have gone through war together in the last five days because the sheer amount of COD
We've been
Warzone that
playing
we've
too
been
much
playing.
Warzone.
It
It's
has been
insane.
ridiculous.
But anyways, that's you guys can check out the gaming
Yeah.
channel for that. We do our live streams on there. It's pretty fun. So today's topic is going to be a few different things. Marc, what do we have going on?
Look, there's been a lot of news, man. So, first of all, before we get to like the main thing that we wanted to talk about, which is that this editor Marianne,
Brandon.
I forget her name right now. Marianne Brandon, who cut the Rise of Skywalker, had some pretty strong feelings about the Last Jedi, and then Daisy Ridley came out, and she also seemed to have broken her silence and talked about, the Rise of Skywalker more than the Last Jedi. There's been news going around that Bob Iger is back as the CEO of Disney. Is this a
Yeah, it's a
real
real
thing?
thing. It's pretty crazy. I'm thinking it's because Bob Chapek, just got right into being the CEO, and then Corona happened, and he's like, what do I do? Like, I don't have as much experience as Bob's Iger, so probably took the job back. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, I think. I actually kind of like that because um, it could mean that my theory about them doing. Um, did you lose me there for a
Yeah,
sec?
it goes in and out. It's all right.
I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. But yeah, that my theory is that Bob Iger wants to redeem the flaws that he did with George Lucas and not using his script for the sequel trilogy. And I think actually Bob coming back is a positive thing for Star
You
Wars.
think he's having like not being able to sleep at night, like late night sweats, being like, I gotta go back, man. I gotta fix it.
I mean, look, it's like imagine if you're playing
Yeah,
Warzone, okay, and there's only two teams
right.
left, all right, and your entire team is out there, and then you're in the
Yeah,
gulag,
okay,
okay. You're gonna want to make sure you do everything possible to win
that's
that
true.
match, and I think that there's some pride inside Bob Iger that realizes that he made a slightly questionable call with how he handled the sequel trilogy. And I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, look, obviously the news is saying Bob Iger's coming back to save Disney's
Right.
life. I mean, that sounds pretty extreme to me. Disney, to me, seems like a pretty solid company, but look, you never know in this time. But I think that there's going to be some unfinished business between him and Star Wars, and I'm actually pretty psyched that he is coming back. I think that that's good news for
I
Star
hope so. I
Wars.
hope you're right, man. I also think you've been playing too much Warzone, but all right, look. So the first thing we're talking about is the Rise of Skywalker editor has a strong feeling about the Last Jedi. So they actually go on and talk about a few things regarding the comparisons between how they felt with episode 7, 8, and 9. Because this late Marianne worked on 7 and 9, and she goes on to say it's very strange to have the second film so consciously undo the storytelling of the first film. I'm sorry, that's what it felt like. I don't even feel that's true about the third film. It took what the second film ended and just tried to tell a story. I don't feel like it was consciously. I don't know. It just didn't feel that way to me. She goes on to say, The Last Jedi, I will say this, was just a different take on the Star Wars saga. To Ryan's credit, he stuck to what he wanted to do, and he wanted to deconstruct the film and open it up to go a different direction. And that is the film he made. It's controversial, but isn't that kind of good in a way? Then she said, I think it's really polarizing, and it was hard to know for the writer and for JJ what to do with it. It's like if somebody wrote the middle of your novel, which is very true. I mean, that's what a lot of people said. So it seems like we actually have confirmation from the inside that even they were confused with it. So it's not just like fans that are like, what's going on? It's even them. And she finishes it off with, I feel very much like, in hindsight, that the last part of the trilogy needed one vision, which is very true. It was very disjointed and it had too many cooks in the kitchen. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that this is what we've been talking about for
Yeah.
years now, you know, and it's a shame that it's come to this, you know, and I
I
told
know.
you
I
it
was
would
just gonna
come to
say.
this,
Yeah.
you know. But look, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think my camera got messed up on the thing, by the way, but
Oh yeah, you refreshed yourself. You're in the corner. You're
I'm
in the
in the
gulag now.
gulag. Just out of curiosity, look, because first of all, it's been a week since we, so thank for coming out. It means a lot to me. Sure, it obviously means a lot to Theory. This is his channel and everything. But um, has anybody out there in the chat been watching us play
Yeah, you on the
Warzone? We've been
gaming
having a
channel?
blast.
It's been super fun. It's like late at night, so make sure you join. It's called Theories Arcade Games, and it's always linked in my channel. So, except for this, except for this video.
Look, it just did it again. It just did it again.
Oh, buddy, you got to get that fixed.
I don't know what the hell's going on. The thing is, we actually ran a test. The test came out
Oh well,
great. Remember?
whatever. The next thing we should talk about is what Daisy Ridley said regarding Episode 9. She doesn't have social media, so she obviously read up on some stuff and Googled. Do you want to take that, Mark? What?
Oh, look, there it is. There it is. There it is. It's fixed,
No,
right?
buddy,
Kind
it's like
of.
zoomed in your face. I gotta keep cropping you. This is too funny. Oh man. Oh jeez.
Hello
Let's
there.
just do it. Let's just do it like
Is
that.
it
Let's just
worse?
do it like this the whole stream. There we go.
No, dude. Dude, that's worse. That's worse. Hold on,
There we
guys.
go.
Jesus, this is like, oh no.
Jeez, dude.
Hold on, dude. I'm
It's because
gonna
you're
do it
using
again.
that
I'm gonna do it
stupid
again.
app with your phone. Oh, come on, man. I just had it. Okay, Mark. I'm just gonna
There
I'm
it
gonna
is.
leave it there, man.
It's gonna change again. It's gonna change one more time. Are we good now? There
You're
we
fine.
go. There we go.
Cobra Bat Gaming says, "Hey, it's Cobra, one of your MC mods." Oh, yo, by the way, all of you guys, huge shout out to the Minecraft server that I created. We're switching the server over, and this is literally turning out to be the biggest Star Wars Minecraft server that I've ever seen. Mark, maybe next week we should go around and show everyone what people have created. It's absolutely insane what they've done. They've built worlds from Star
That's
Wars.
cool,
It's nuts.
dude. I've never played
Yeah,
Minecraft
me neither.
before.
You know what? I opened up a server and it's like $110 a month, but you know what? There's access to everyone. It's free. Everyone can join, and it costs me $110, but for everyone it's free. And just build the community kind of thing. So it's huge, man. I gotta show you that thing. Anyways, before I derail further, let's get on with the next
Yeah,
topic.
yeah. Yeah, so Daisy Ridley. It came out today. I saw it today on Collider. Little plug there. But Daisy Ridley came out and said it changed film by film. Honestly, first of all, they've been going on this thing called the Dragcast podcast, which is an Entertainment Weekly podcast. I've never even heard
Okay.
of this thing. If anybody in the chat listens to this podcast, type one or something because I'm interested to see if it's a good podcast because they're getting good guests and the guests are dropping good info, good scoops.
Is it
But
possible to
anyway,
learn this power?
she went on there. Yeah, yeah, not from a Jedi. Um, so she's saying it changed. So they're asking her what's her opinion about the fan backlash on Rise of Skywalker, and she's like, it changed film by film. Honestly, like 98% of it is so amazing. This last film, it was really tricky. January was not that nice. It was weird. I felt like all of this love that we'd sort of been shown the first time around, I was like, where's the love gone? So it's interesting as an actor because yeah, we've talked about it on this show before, right? Like uh, a lot on this show. The Force Awakens was generally pretty well received. I personally
Yeah.
didn't love it, but it was generally pretty cool. And like we talked about last week, it created incredible hype
Oh
for
my
Episode
God,
Eight.
yeah.
You know,
Dude, the way JJ set that up,
you know,
very nice.
it was very nice. It was a softball,
Yeah.
right? It was a tee up. I mean, I wish Luke would have been in it more, obviously, but it is what it is. It did set up Episode 8 to be this
Mm-hmm.
epic thing, right? It was a good pilot. Um, but then Episode 8 comes around, and we all know what happened there. And then Episode 9 comes around, and it's almost even worse than Episode 8. Fan backlash. I know you
Yeah, I
personally
liked it. It
liked
was
it
cool.
because it attacked Episode 8, but in terms of the
Wait, you
overall
you
vibe,
feel
it was
you
even
feel the
worse than 8.
backlash was higher for 8 or for 9 than it was for 8?
I feel people were more passionately against 8,
Right.
but I feel in general, Episode 9 is seen as the worst movie.
Okay.
And like you can look at things like Rotten Tomatoes and all
Right.
those kind of things, the critics. It's just like Episode 9 is generally, I think, the worst of the sequels in terms of God,
You're
my video
froze,
looks like
dude.
it's
Yeah.
completely paused.
I don't know what's going on.
It
Yeah,
totally
this
froze. Uh,
so Mark's trying to use his iPhone as a camera, and he had to download this app, and I guess it's not working right. Yeah, just use your webcam. Let's just roll with that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I switched over. Oh well, it worked so good in the
I
friggin'
know. I
rehearsal.
know.
We
But we
did it.
didn't do it for this
We
long
did
though,
an actual
so
rehearsal.
oh well. It's all right.
Good point. Good point. Um, all right, there. Give
You're
us a
in.
sec here.
You're good.
Um,
There's like a 20-second delay, so what you're seeing right now is already I've already done it.
it's already happened. Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, it's just, to me, it's very interesting that people that are so close to the movie are kind of airing their grievances
Mm.
out, and this is why I'm even more excited about Bob Iger coming back, because Bob Iger cannot let this keep going on. I mean, look, it's the pandemic, and it is what it is. And I don't know if this news will get out because of this podcast or not, but, and I'm just going to say it, dude. I'm just going to say it. I've been hearing for a long time from decent sources that Kathleen Kennedy's pretty much out at Lucasfilm.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, here comes the pandemic. All right. Here comes this global catastrophe that we're all dealing with. And it's, of course, delayed the normal sort of business thing happening with Kathleen Kennedy
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes. But I honestly believe that Kathleen Kennedy's tenure as the head of Lucasfilm with any other major project moving forward is over.
It's
You
over.
know? What's that line? Yeah, what's that line from Revenge of the Sith? The tyranny of the from Mace Windu.
The oppression
The
of the
tyranny
Sith.
of the
Yeah. What did he say? He was like, it's like
the oppression of the Sith will
no.
not stand.
Why am I not thinking of this? It's like you are under arrest. The oppression of the Sith will never return, or something like that.
Right, right. I honestly believe that this is it. It's over for her. This is the end for
Yeah.
you, my master.
Yeah.
And like God bless her, man. Like I've always said, you can't tell the story of
Yeah.
Hollywood without Kathleen Kennedy. She is an integral
She's
part
changed so
of
much
the
stuff for
Hollywood
better.
story.
Yeah. I can't say for sure because I mean I don't know her. I'm sure she's a nice woman, of course, and she's done a great job in her career. And but I don't think she has made the right decisions for Star Wars because they've just never been so bad, man. And I mean, I know Daisy Ridley even said like, oh, like nowadays you have social media and stuff and whatever, and you have people hating on it. And it's like, yeah, that's true. There is that side of the fandom that just is angry all the time, but then there's the other side that just wants a good Star Wars movie. So it's not really stemming from a place of anger. It's just stemming from a place of like, oh, just give us some good stuff that we always used to get with George. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This thing she said about the source material thing, like I'm still rolling my eyes about that. When she said we have no source material, but she said we have like no source material. Like, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? But then you go and use all the source material for Episode 9 from Legends. So I'm just confused.
Right. And instead of calling it a holocron, you call it a wayfinder.
Yeah, well, in the book, I mean, it explained that it's like a holocron, but it's different because it gives coordinates to a place and stuff. So they cleared it up in that, but it's just, I mean, it looks like a holocron. I mean, it seems like that's what I thought it was when I saw it too. I mean, it kind of is because it
But it's
holds
like
information, and that's what the book says as well. But oh well.
it's just like this whole thing about this new Star Wars stuff. And I know we love the Mandalorian, but I also feel this way about the Mandalorian. It's like if it looks like Boba Fett and it smells like Boba Fett, it is
Mhm.
Boba Fett. But they can't call it Boba Fett because of whatever other reason, right? So if it looks like a holocron, smells like a holocron, then it is
You
a
know what my
freaking
theory
holocron.
is? My
I don't
theory
care what.
is, so we all know, like, I feel like they really just made this sequel trilogy for obviously for money, but they didn't really go into it properly, thinking about things. They needed one head, they needed one brain to be governing everything that was going on and to make the proper calls on where the story goes. You know, not literally. It's like the editor of episode 7 and 9 said. It's like someone comes in and writes the middle of your story, and it's like, how the heck do I? The whole thing was just picking up the pieces. Episode 8 and 9 was just this one. It's like we're going this way. No, we're gonna go this way. No, now we're gonna go this way and backtrack. It's just we didn't really get a sequel trilogy, and that's the problem. And I'm not upset about it. I just feel betrayed. You know. So
Yeah,
in my mind,
betrayed.
it all ends with episode
Look,
6, kind of, and episode 7, 8, 9 is like
yeah,
a fan film kind of thing. It's like a aftermath.
it's legends.
Yeah.
It's legends.
Well,
It's
it
some
is
kind of
canon. You
nice
can't
little
say it's
Star
legend.
Wars
It's
thing.
canon, but it's I don't know. In my mind, I like to think, it really I don't see Luke the way he is in the sequels.
I mean, look, because Star Wars is so precious that it's not like you can treat it like
Hmm.
Spider-Man, and then look at Sam Raimi
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and then look at the Amazing Spider-Man, and say, oh, and then now the third version of
Yeah.
Spider-Man that has Iron Man so embedded into
Yeah.
his origin story, as it's
He's
not in
basically
the
Tony
other
Stark
ones.
now with webs, but you know.
Right, right. So it's like I don't think. Look, at this point, it's such a mess that I beyond Star Wars to make some big moves like that. Like, yeah, it's Luke is always going to have died with bad constipation on those rocks, looking at the twin suns. There's nothing we can do about that. But like
Yeah.
they might be able to retcon some things and make it more
They
manageable
already retconned so
because
much in episode 9.
yeah, it's
You
a
know,
mess. You're right.
it's
You're
like
right. You're right. It's
the
a mess.
whole
I'm trying
thing.
to.
It's like they messed up. Okay, they messed up. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around the bushes here, but they messed up and they got to fix it by making some good old Republic content. And I think they're trying to lead into that, with the High Republic, but I don't know what that's really about. I just hear about Vikings and
Well,
stuff.
see the beautiful thing about the old Republic, though, that you got to remember, at least for me, dude. Maybe not for you, but the old Republic, the battle between the Jedi and the Sith is even more
It is because it's not
intense.
just like 2, 3 people fighting. It's like hundreds. Yeah.
It's war. It's
Yeah.
war. And like now they're trying to say, oh, there's no Sith in this backstory. The Sith are in hiding or whatever. The Sith don't exist, or maybe they exist, but we don't know about them. It's these space Vikings. It's like let's give you space
Yeah.
Vikings, and these are novels, and like it's like they're like romance. Not like it has the vibe of like a romance novel thing. Um, Look, I think right now the most important part of Star Wars is the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian is the most like Star Wars of any
The
content that
Mandalorian
we've
is more
gotten.
Star Wars than Star Wars. It feels more Star Wars than actual Star Wars. It's crazy. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, which is great, which is great. And I think everybody knows this inside that building. Everybody knows that all this other stuff is not as well
Hmm.
received, and people got to start realizing internally they got to go deeper into stuff like the Mandalorian. I mean, we'll never get that series of Cassian Andor. We're never getting that
I feel
series,
like
dude.
there's such a issue with. I'm just tired of the whole misconception between people who like the sequels and dislike the sequels. I feel like there's such an animosity between the two, and there doesn't need to be. It's even
Yeah.
censored me in the fact that where I can't even say stuff on my channel, or I well you moved again, or like I yeah, or like I'll
Did I
try to
really?
like censor stuff or just say something a little bit differently to like ease both sides or whatever. But in the reality is it's like I just feel there's so much hate on both sides, and it's like, dude, I just maybe it's my fault for not being outspoken enough and kind of like trying to meld the whole thing a little bit because I know there's some that are just like so angry and there's some that are just so loving it. And I just feel like at the end of the day, dude, if we just sit down and discuss our different opinions about the sequels and this and that, there really doesn't need to be so much hate because there's this division, and I hate that. It's like what we had with the prequels. It's like, dude, I grew up with the originals and I grew up with the prequels. I love both of them. Just because I love the prequels doesn't mean I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Star Wars. No, man. Just like someone else who loves the sequels doesn't mean they don't know anything about Star Wars. But I feel like if we could sit down, I would do. Let's just get Ryan Johnson on here, man. Like that's where I'm trying to go with this. All right, let's just get him on here. Let's talk about the sequels and let's talk about the Last Jedi. And I wanna pick his brain.
I want to pick his brain too,
We're
bro.
all sitting in
I want to pick his
quarantine. I
brain
know
too
you got
because
access to him. Just reach out.
did you
No,
watch the
no,
documentary I
I
did?
didn't. I
I
didn't
sent you
watch
the
it. I
link. You
gotta watch
probably
it.
did. Yeah, you got to watch it. Um, yeah, go check it out. Look, he's a very interesting filmmaker. Um, and The bottom line is, dude, and we've
No.
talked about this so much that I feel like we almost need to just move on. Is that George Lucas stepped away? George Lucas quit on Star Wars after he sold it because he felt like it was time to move on because
Yeah.
he
What did they
wasn't in
say? He
charge
said
anymore.
it's like being
And
at
when he
your
came,
ex's wedding and pretending to be happy.
yeah, yeah, you can't, he had to move on. You got to cut off the rope. And when they wanted to do that nostalgic retread, what I thought was kind of garbage, Force Awakens, even though there's some cool stuff in it now. Years later, I look back on it fondly, and there is stuff that I like, that I do enjoy about it. Um, when they lost Lucas, they never replaced him. That's
Yeah.
the bottom line. After 2 years of talking about this Star Wars stuff, that's the bottom line. They lost Lucas and they
Yeah.
never replaced him. And look, and here we are, But look, post pandemic, in a world where we have the Mandalorian, in a world where supposedly they've hired new writers to work on Obi-Wan, where supposedly Kevin Feige is in control with I'm sorry, not with Dave Filoni, with John Favreau. Okay, those are supposedly the two big
Okay.
creative heads now. With I'm telling you, when this pandemic stuff comes back, you will get the retirement of Kathleen Kennedy. She will no longer be involved in any major Star Wars
Bro,
project
we've been
moving
gaming
forward,
for
in my
2 weeks
opinion.
every night, and you
Uh,
haven't told me about this. The hell?
I've
You
I've
have?
told you a little bit about this.
This is big.
I mean, because look, I don't, but we haven't
No.
we haven't reported on it. Okay, so it's still just a rumor.
People have been
It's
saying that. They've been leaking that rumor for
look,
like 2 years, though.
right, right, yeah, but what was the last thing that she worked on? The first season of
Right.
Mandalorian, right? I don't think she's working
Hmm.
on anything else.
Do you
I
think
think it's
Kevin
over.
Feige's coming in and just taking over?
I think right now, John Favreau, Kevin Feige, Dave Filoni, they have kind of
Yeah.
like a council that's sort of taken over, And it's all in the background, so nobody's really made like a big fuss about it because they
Yeah.
don't want that
Yeah.
press right now. is obviously not a
Oh, you
great
know when
time to
that's
talk
gonna
about
happen,
that.
man. Like
But
everyone's just gonna be like, "Oh, she's gone." It's like, look, I think she's done a lot of good for the film industry, but for Star Wars, I think she just doesn't know really where it should go, and I think that's why we're in the predicament. Like what you said with how Ryan got the job to direct Episode 8. Like, what? Like that makes no sense. Like, she comes in for a pitch to pitch a solo movie of Star Wars, and she's like, "Oh, you know what? Here you go. Here are the keys. Why don't you take the helm? Take Episode 8 where you want it."
look, and that's why if somebody tells you, "Hey, go make a Star Wars movie, do whatever it is that you want," you're gonna do whatever it is that you want if because like not a it's the only Star Wars movie that doesn't have drama. Okay, if you think about it, Episode 8 is the only Star Wars movie that doesn't have drama. Every other Star Wars movie that's come out, okay,
What
has
do you mean?
had
What are you talking about?
major drama. Episode 7,
Like with the
major
fans or
drama.
in the movie?
Okay, in the movie making process. Episode 8 is the only one that hasn't had drama. Okay, Episode 7, Michael Arndt and George Lucas's
Yeah.
script gets thrown away for this new garbage with Lawrence Kasdan and
Okay.
J.J. Abrams. Okay, where they basically
Yeah.
retell
Yeah.
Episode 4, right? Um, episode Solo, you get those
Yeah. It
kids.
was
I
like
forget their
two
names right
guys. Yeah,
now.
I forgot.
Those, yeah, the two guys that did like Into the Spider Verse, and they've done a lot of cool stuff. I forget their names right now. They get fired halfway through.
Yeah.
Ron Howard comes in. Okay, Rogue One, Gareth Edwards gets fired at the end, and they bring in some other guy, Tony Gilroy, to finish that up. Okay, Episode 9, um, my dude Colin
Yeah.
Trevorrow gets fired, and they
Yeah.
bring back J.J. Abrams. Okay, every single movie has had
Yeah.
major drama, with the exception of
You're right.
Episode 8, and and that to me is a really interesting story. They left him alone. Like obviously Kathleen Kennedy really loved what he did because they left him
That's,
alone.
I didn't think of this. Yeah.
I told you it would come to this. It's the only one that hasn't had drama. And even in the television shows, there's been major drama, with the exception of The Mandalorian, which supposedly everything has gone okay. But like Cassian Andor, that series is never happening. Okay, then you have, then you have Obi-Wan. Okay, the thing that we've all been dying for gets canceled before
Yeah.
the pandemic broke out. Or not
Rewrite.
canceled,
Yeah.
but put on
Right. Right.
hiatus. Collider
Yeah.
Collider reported that, and everybody told us that we were crazy. Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. 2 weeks
Yeah.
later, official. And I'm telling you right now, the the camel's back has been broken, and Kathleen Kennedy is no longer making big decisions at Lucasfilm. I'm saying it now, and look, it's the pandemic. You can believe me or not believe me. Hopefully, this story only stays with us
Yeah.
and our listeners. But I honestly feel that she will never have decision-making authority in
Hmm.
Lucasfilm again, and I think that she's earned
Yeah.
that.
I don't think she's done a very good job. I really don't. I think she's driven it in a direction. I just don't. Star Wars is it's like another language. You either know it or you don't. You can't pretend. Like I could pretend to speak French, but it's not French. It's just it's gibberish.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've heard your
it
French,
doesn't
mate.
like it's not right. So I mean, that's you can't just go into Star Wars and direct it or whatever and have like an idea of what it is. Like no, like you kind of need to know it, and if you don't, then this is what happens.
Yeah. So look, I'm very hopeful
Yeah,
for the
me
future
too. I think it's going
of
to be
Star
great.
Wars.
I
Okay.
hope.
And I think Kevin Feige is going to be involved in Star Wars. Okay, he is going to be involved in Star Wars. I think he's an excellent producer who's a huge fan of Star Wars. He and um, I'll never forget. This is a little anecdote. Okay, this is a little story. The premiere of Spider-Man: Homecoming. I went to go see it. It was, it was a lot of fun. And then at the after party, I was talking to Kevin Feige, and I was talking to Kevin Feige with me and Frosty, and I was saying, "Hey, man, like that movie is so friggin' good, dude." I was
Yeah.
talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming. I was like, "I love this movie, dude. This is an incredible, incredible film. Like you're gonna make so much money with this." And I was so high on Spider-Man: Homecoming at the time that I said, "This might make more money than
Hmm.
Episode 8." And he looked at me and he was like, "What?" He's like, "You're crazy." And I was like, "Dude, that's how good this movie is, man. This movie might make more money than Episode 8. This is an awesome
Hmm.
Spider-Man movie that you've done." And he's like, "Dude, yeah, it's a cool movie, but you're talking about a cool movie and Carrie Fisher's last movie.
Yeah.
There's no comparison, you know?" So it's like when he said that, I knew that his Star Wars love burned deep, you know? Like he's a Star
I
Wars
hope,
guy.
or maybe he just understands
Uh,
numbers. I don't know.
No, look, he's a producer. He's
Right.
a storyteller. Let's not
Don't
underestimate him,
underestimate the power of
because
Kevin Feige.
he's a storyteller, dude. He's not like a business
Well, that's
guy.
good.
You know what I mean? He's a
That's good.
he's a movie producer. I don't understand what the hell's going on with
I
my
don't know. I
camera
keep.
today. I
I keep.
haven't touched
It's
it.
okay. I'm on it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you want to get to some super chats?
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't need to get your Star Destroyer out of the asteroid field to get a good signal camera shot. Okay. Thank you. Can I play Warzone with y'all tonight? Yeah. You can hop on, watch the stream. Hey, I heard on your Minecraft live stream that Ryan Johnson was interested, but you were worried about people harassing him. No, he's not interested.
No, look, Ryan Johnson. I did a documentary with him called Masterworks Ryan
Yeah.
Johnson that I'm very proud of. I think it's a really, really cool piece. If you want to get inside the mind of a guy like that, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna link it in the chat. I'm gonna link it in the chat. Hold on, or
Okay,
maybe
it's
link it
time
in
to
the
come out of the shadows,
comments.
people. Okay, if you really loved The Last Jedi, type 1. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's cool. And no, dude, like,
Nothing at all.
you guys will probably enjoy that link because, you enjoy Ryan Johnson's work.
Yeah. So look, I just put it in the chat. Um, I don't know if you should put it. You should put it in the description of this video.
Sure.
Um, and
Or they can just go to Collider as well.
Yeah, yeah, just go to the Collider YouTube channel. It's up there. But anyway, um, so Ryan Johnson, I think, might actually be open to talking with us about Star Wars. Um, Even though like he hasn't given, we actually did like a 2 hour interview with him about Star Wars
Hmm.
when the movie came out. Um, but I just there's a lot of it's very easy to attack people online because there's this sense of anonymity to
Yeah.
being online, and you don't have to answer for your words. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like if you're in a supermarket and you look at somebody and you tell them, "Dude, I can't believe you're wearing a Last Jedi shirt. You
Yeah.
should burn in hell and
Yeah.
your family should be tortured."
Yeah.
Like that, like you're going to get arrested for
Or
being
beat up.
or beat up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so people aren't very honest with themselves when they're online,
No.
and I'd hate to bring him on and have an unfair discussion because there's so much animosity in the comments.
Well, we could do a pre recorded one like we did with Sam.
We could do a pre-recorded one.
And I could turn comments off if it's really, if he cares. I don't think he cares, though.
Look, I will reach out to him. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah. Do it, man.
um am I living in an apartment? No, no, not right now. Right now I'm in Florida. In quarantine. I'm in an undisclosed location in Florida.
Marc's camera has the high ground. This is for the server. Thank you for all the amazing content and the MC world you let us be a part of. What do you want to see from the next Star Wars? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a great question, dude. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Well, Skywalker Saga's over. Um, if we could go for anything, I want to see. I want to see Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Dooku. I want to see a story on that, a movie on that, because we have the books. Let's turn it into a movie. Turn it into a screenplay. I think that would be sweet. And then if not, then let's go. We could cover between episode 1 and 2. We could um, go all the way back, like cover Yoda's journey, which apparently is going to be what the High Republic is about. So I don't know.
Are those books any good?
Oh, I love them, man. They're cool.
What's the basic storyline?
Which one? Dooku Jedi Lost or Master and Apprentice?
Master and Apprentice.
I love that because that one's sweet because it's like it shows how much of a strict and stern teacher Qui-Gon really is and keeps making Obi-Wan go to like the one of the parts that stuck out to me was how he goes to the the archives and he's like with the lantern and everything. He's like reading all these different scrolls, these prophecies. And there's so many prophecies in there that I've made videos about them that highlight the prequels, originals, and sequels. There's so many different bits in there. I mean, like there's one about Kylo, there's one about Anakin, and then it's cool. It's really sweet seeing all these different prophecies because it's like, oh, the prophecy of the chosen one. It's like that's just one of many. So it's interesting seeing that, and then also how Qui-Gon's love for Obi-Wan is so strong that he would have been a member on the council, but he wanted to train his Padawan.
And then why did that prevent him from being on the council?
Because you don't have as much time. Most people who are on the council don't really have Padawans because you don't have enough time.
You should have been on the council, Master.
Yeah.
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 That's cool. And then what's the Dooku one about?
The Dooku one is sweet. It goes from like when he was a little kid on Sereno all the way to him leaving the Jedi Order.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And like Qui-Gon is his apprentice?
It covers that later, yeah, but it really gave me a vibe of oh no, wait, does it cover Qui-Gon or is that just the Master and Apprentice book? I get them mixed up because they're so close together, but it really gave me the vibe of Harry Potter because it was like you just see Dooku and Sifo Dyas getting in all this trouble, and they're like going into the restricted section, like looking at these different. It's just it's cool. It's a neat book.
So Sifo Dyas is a big part of that book, huh?
Huge, yeah, yeah.
But he's not a master. He's like his friend.
He's his best friend, yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
The video I made today revealed that they changed this part in Legends with the Darth Plagueis book. How Plagueis? Do you remember the book where Plagueis said?
Plagueis, I've read like half of it.
Okay, so Plagueis tells Sifo Dyas that like, yo, yo. So he's like, he pitched him the idea of the clones, and he said, I'll fund it, I'll pay for it. You can just be the name, and that's it. It'll be done through you.
Who Dooku pitched the
Plagueis,
clone idea?
Plagueis.
Oh, Plagueis.
Pitched it to Sifo Dyas. And then, obviously, through Palpatine and all that stuff as well when he died. But then now, in the new canon, Sifo Dyas has these visions of a great war. And he's like, okay, so I need to make clones. So that's how they did it. Plagueis is not existing in that realm.
So if you could do anything in Star Wars, any movie trilogy or any movie or whatever, you would have a movie about Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan.
No. You know what? I changed my answer. It's the one that I always wanted, and I can't believe I forgot it. Young Palpatine. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah.
You look, young Palpatine would be great. Young Palpatine would be great.
It'd be cool.
If I could have anything in Star Wars, anything, right? That's the question.
Yeah.
I would redo episode 7, 8, and 9, bro. I would just say, you know what? We're redoing it.
That's on the table, so we can go back and do it?
I mean, dude, you said...
Because Carrie's gone.
Anything.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's redo it.
I mean, that would be insane. That would, that's like...
They would never happen.
I mean, look, we're not going to make a Star Wars movie anyway, right? So, like, this level of make-believe is at such a high level.
I was thinking of putting all the money for Vader episode 2 and just making The Last Jedi just how I wanted it. and I
What?
have the Luke actor, and he looks identical,
Oh, so like,
identical to
so
Luke.
you're episode 8.
Yeah.
My episode 8. Have I ever pitched you my episode 8? I kind
No.
of forgot it now, but
I'm gonna
my
show you a picture.
episode.
I'm gonna show you a picture of this Luke guy. But
All right,
while
all
you
right,
tell me,
all right.
go ahead. Go
Do
ahead.
it, do it, do it.
No,
So,
I'm
so,
sure.
so my episode 8 was basically um, that uh, that Snoke is able to seduce Rey to the dark side.
Okay.
Okay. Um, that this seduction of because somehow Rey and Kylo fight again, and because you already set it up that Rey was more powerful than Kylo in the Force Awakens, right?
Right.
That she discards Kylo.
Yeah.
Rey, I have
Yeah.
a new apprentice, one far more hot, and one younger and hotter, and so she somehow manages to seduce Rey into the dark side.
Okay.
Okay, and Kylo, defeated and dejected, right, kind of comes crawling with his
Back
tail
to
between
Luke.
his legs,
That'd be cool.
back to Luke, back to Leia, back to Han, right? Because forget Han. Han is dead. Let's assume Han's even dead. Okay, that he comes crawling back, and um, Luke and Leia obviously take him back in. Okay, train him up again, and say now we need to go back and grab your sister. So like I always kind of wanted the connection between Kylo and Rey to be by blood
Okay.
and not by sexuality or attraction or whatever.
Right.
Because if you think about it, following what George Lucas said, the sequel trilogy is supposed to be about the grandkids.
Yeah.
He said it, the grandkids.
Yeah.
Not the one grandchild and then this weird Palpatine granddaughter that was made up probably 2 days before they started shooting.
Yeah.
But the grandkids. And so what if if Rey and Kylo are related? I ultimately wanted Rey and Kylo to be brother and sister.
I thought you were gonna. So what if they're related and they kiss? Yeah, whatever. It's okay.
But so anyway, back in the old days of Rule of Two, I pitched my episode 8 idea much better than that. But that was the basic
Get the
gist
gist
of it.
of it. It's cool. Yeah.
That it's like she turns to the dark side.
It's weird because I also watched Ryan's Knives Out, and I really, man, I disliked it. It was just so like, this is what he does. He makes these great story arcs, and he like builds, well, not story arcs, sorry. He creates these great plot points where he rises it up, but then he just kills it. It's like, okay, like you're expecting it to go somewhere, it just doesn't, and just like.
What do you talking about? Knives Out?
Yeah, Knives Out, The Last Jedi. Like I was like, okay, what the hell?
Have you seen Looper?
Yeah, a long time ago. Check out this guy. Okay, you guys in the chat right now, go tell this guy on Twitter that Theory says hi. I've met him a few times. He's a very nice guy. He does a lot of stuff for charity, and he just dresses up as Mark Hamill from The Last Jedi. So this is his handle. All right.
Fluke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker, yeah. Not focusing.
Yeah, he does look like him.
Right? Like, looks pretty good, man.
Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you have a good time today and get lots of goodies from that long-eared fellow. No, not you.
Looks like him, sounds like him. Like, I thought of it so many times. I'm like, what if I just hire this guy and just make a different Last Jedi? Just be like, hey, it's kind of cool. I've got great Kylo Ren cosplayers that look just like Adam Driver.
All right, so tell me your Last Jedi story.
I already made it, man. It's fan fiction. Go check it out, guys. It's on the channel.
What is it? But just give me the gist.
I don't remember what it was. It's probably different now that I've seen. Because when I wrote that, I was like, I hadn't seen episode 9 yet. It was like a month after episode 8 came out, so I was still fiending with all the ideas that I had from episode 7. So if it was now, I'm just kind of done with it. I'm just kind of tired of it.
Tired of what? Tired of 8?
I'm just tired of the sequels. Like I'm just ready to move on, you know?
Dude, I told you I'm tired of the sequels, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's just first of all, for the record, I pitched that we were going to do this entire episode in Warzone in the Gulag.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one should be in the Minecraft world, the Star Wars Minecraft world, and we'll talk and
I'm
we'll
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. You can give me like a tour. I can ask questions.
Yeah,
You know?
100%. That'd be cool.
How-
That'd be more interactive than this right now.
How many people are on that server?
Oh man, I think it's like thousands at this point.
That's cool.
We're moving the server now because I was paying like $65 a month at this server MC Pro hosting, and they sucked, man. They were terrible. Like they just like it was for unlimited RAM, and I contacted them. I'm like, yo, like what's going on? It's very laggy. You guys aren't doing what you promised, and they just haven't really gotten back to us at all. So we're moving the whole thing today. We're moving it to a different one. We're gonna see how that works. Gonna be paying like 110, and open to everyone, free server on Java. So I hope you all enjoy it. It blows my mind the stuff that these guys have created. It's crazy. I gotta show you once it's back up. Maybe next week.
That's cool. That's cool. And Minecraft, does it have gameplay like combat or like?
Not really.
No, it's just kind of like world building and.
Yeah, I mean, you can do survival. You can do creative. I like to do creative because I just like to build stuff. So yeah, I mean, you could fight, but not really. It's like...
Right. That's cool. Yeah, man, it sounds like an interesting community. So anyway, do you want to take some more questions?
Yeah, sure. Love these. My fave part is when Marc drops the F-bombs.
Did I drop
No, not in today.
Did I drop an F-bomb?
Could you talk about what you think is going to happen
today,
in the last Clone Wars episode? Yeah. Well, I think not what I think will happen, but what I think would be cool is that Ahsoka sees the Mando. That'd be sweet. So like the Mando gets saved by Death Watch and comes to Mandalore. Yeah,
as a little
boy,
baby,
as a foundling. And then comes to Mandalore, and Ahsoka's there, and she just defeated Maul, and she gives the Darksaber to Bo, and just sees the foundling, and that's it.
that could be a
That'd be a
nice
cool
ending. I
ending,
like
yeah.
that ending, bro. I like that. It actually.
Yeah.
That's a good theory.
Yeah.
That's a good theory.
That'd be sweet. And I think that's why we haven't seen much Anakin, is because during all of this, Episode 3 is I think now that we're on the Siege of Mandalore, Episode 3 is happening.
Look, we also talked about the next Rule of Two being a Clone Wars Season 7 review of the entire season, which I think we should do. I haven't seen the last 3 or 4 episodes because I'm waiting to binge the whole thing to try to really get that sort of cinematic experience out of it. So I'm kind of avoiding spoilers, but as an ending, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd tie everything in together nicely, and then with Season 2, then Ahsoka has more relevancy. Do you think identity politics ruined the sequels? Says Rob Kyber. No, I think bad storytelling did.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a fair question, and we shouldn't dismiss it completely because I think he's talking. Did the political climate and all of the stuff that was happening, like sociologically, did it have effects on the storytelling style and some of the choices that it made?
I'll interject and say I do think there was definitely more favoritism this time towards females, 100%. I think it was more of a girl power kind of sequel trilogy, and that's cool. That's fine. If I ever have a daughter one day, I want her to look up to Rey and whatever, but I also want her to understand that it's not going to be like that. So you're not just going to get everything handed to you.
See, I actually completely
Really?
disagree with you. I think the
Mhm.
original trilogy and the
Mhm.
prequel trilogy are way more girl power than the sequel trilogy. Like, for me, Padme and Leia are way more powerful female characters than Rey. Rey is just not realistic. There's just nothing
Mhm.
real about Rey. Like, she's cool, and Daisy Ridley, God bless her, she's a
Yeah.
great actor. Like, she really
Yeah.
is a really good actor. But there's no, like, Padme had to have this secret love affair with this guy that she shouldn't have been with. It was a toxic
Yeah.
relationship. She shouldn't have been
Yeah.
in that relationship. She gave up her power and she lied to the people around her to have this relationship. She's a flawed human being, and that's what makes her real. But ultimately, you're going down a path that I
Yeah.
cannot follow. I mean, like, at that moment where Anakin tells her, "Hey, like, just come with me. I can defeat the Emperor. I'm more powerful than he is." And she's like, "What are you talking about, dude? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that." And then, like, she starts tearing and crying, not because he kills her with the love or whatever, because she's made all these choices to give up on all of her other things that were important to her to fall in love with this guy. And then she realizes, holy crap, all that was a gigantic
Yeah.
mistake. This guy is out of
Yeah.
his mind, you know? And she pays the
Yeah.
ultimate price for that. And, like, to me, that makes her a very interesting, strong character. To me, Leia, the character of Leia, um, really comes together, ironically enough, for me, it really comes together in episode 9. Okay. But not in the episode 9 that we got. The real episode 9, the
Mhm.
Duel of the Fates, when Luke, tells her, I've lost so much, and that's why I had to go into reclusion, and, like, get away from everybody. And she's like, dude, everything's been taken from me, but I still choose love, even though I've
Yeah.
lost everything. It's like, these are real people, where Rey doesn't even get a
No.
scratch.
Well, she gets one on her arm. That's about it.
So it's like, I don't believe it's girl power. I believe it's actually a very poor
It's not the
interpretation
real
of a
sense of
female
girl power, but what
character.
I mean is, especially in 2020, it's the girl power in the sense that they can they're taking roles that they haven't taken before in films. Like in the prequels, we never got um, a female Jedi, right? We never saw that. So now we're getting these warrior type women, and that's what I mean by that, by girl power. That it's different, and that's something I would want my future daughter to see, is that, like, all right, like, women can fight back, they can be warriors as well, not just generals, or like what Padme was, a politician, and she sacrificed so much for the man that she loves, and then realize that she is more headstrong in the end, because she's like, even though I love him so much, I'm not going to follow him down this path because he's a psycho. He's killed kids. There's a line. So I feel like each one has
Yeah,
these strong female leads, and I feel like Padme's was portrayed much better in the Clone Wars and in the alternate script or whatever, that she was supposed to have a knife to go kill Anakin and all that. I feel like that would have shown a stronger Padme almost than just her kind of being roped around in all of this with Obi-Wan and Anakin and this and that. But no, dude,
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to trying to break down Rey's character, I'm an advocate that there is no character there. It's just this god entity that's taken over. And while I'm all in favor of girl power, I'm not in favor of it at the expense of killing the storyline, just so we can have an overly powered character. Just like I wouldn't be in favor of that for a male lead. And we never got that either. I mean, Anakin got his
Absolutely.
butt handed to him in literally every film. Like,
Every film. Yeah, yeah. With maybe the first one was the
he was
only
a
one that
kid.
he was
Yeah, I
kind of
know.
uber.
But I mean, and then
Yeah.
Obi-Wan gets beaten up. Like, it's just like, yeah,
Anakin, drop.
maybe,
Oh, dude.
maybe,
Oh, we gotta
yeah,
use that. We
yeah,
gotta use that in
yeah,
Warzone.
yeah. Yeah,
Theory
that's
drop.
the next one. There's a storm coming, Annie.
There's a
Better
storm
get
coming,
inside.
Annie. Yeah, so in Warzone, when the storm is closing
That's all
in,
we
that's
hear.
all you
Yeah,
hear
we're
Theory
just
and me
like
say. There's
doing
a
prequel
storm a
quotes the
coming,
whole
Annie.
time.
But look, man, you make an incredible point, and I want to bring it up because I don't want it to be forgotten, at least in my brain. Okay, um, it's not so much about the girl power and all these things. I think you hit it on the head. It's roles that are obviously kind of male
Yeah,
oriented or
yeah,
masculine
yeah,
oriented are
yeah,
cast with females. You know, so it's not true to the female power. It's like, have people forgotten
yeah,
about Alien? Alien. Ridley is an incredible,
yeah,
powerful female character. A Sarah Connor is an incredibly
yeah,
powerful female character. Like throughout film, there's been Clarice Starling in Silence of the Lambs is a very powerful female character, but Catherine Janeway in Star Trek Voyager, a very powerful female character. But none of these characters ever lose their
no,
femininity throughout the process. Where I always felt that there was no real femininity
no,
to
and being
Rey.
feminine is a
She was,
beautiful thing if you're a female. I mean, it's great, and
of
being
course,
masculine,
it's what
yeah,
it's
and
all about.
it's what we
It's what
like.
it's all
And
about.
being masculine is a beautiful thing if you're a man. I mean, that's how it should be, right? And I don't think that anything either of them should be taken at either's expense. But I also think that these roles that Rey is being given as a warrior, or whatever, it's cool because it shows these little girls that they don't have to be just a princess or a damsel in distress or whatever, like the old, fairy tales and stuff would tell them. But I would just like to see that they can still fall in love. They can still do this and that, which is I feel like what Rey's character does in that sense. But her character in the sense of just being totally overpowered is ridiculous to me. I mean, look, she beats Kylo
Yeah,
every single time. I don't get that.
every single time. And even Colin, to his credit, Colin Trevorrow, and we got to make an episode just
Well, we
about
got to get him on the show because yeah,
Duel of Fates. Yeah, um, I actually reached out to him about it, and he's a little bit, he's a little bit worried to talk too much Star Wars. Like this editor who edited JJ's movie probably won't be working on too many Disney
yeah,
movies
just for
again.
saying that. Yeah,
Uh, but so look, um, yeah. Anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit there, but look, it was a good question. It was
it
a good
was.
question. Took
Yeah,
us
it
down, I
did.
think, a very
Took us down a path we
yeah.
wanted to follow.
A path that
Game
we could
Station
follow.
donates 3 times. He says Rey does have a character. Rey is also absolutely not a Mary Sue. Anyone who thinks Rey is a Mary Sue is ignorant. Well, I think she's a Mary Sue, so I guess I'm ignorant in that sense. You know,
I don't really know what a Mary
a
Sue
Mary
is, to
Sue
be
is
honest with
like
you.
someone who is just doesn't lose. They don't have to train. They don't have to do anything. They're just. It's like you start the game with all the cheat codes. You know.
Look, she does. She never takes any damage. Oh, that was my point. In Colin's script,
Yeah.
The Duel of the Fates, Rey takes a
Yeah.
lot of damage, and she falls in love, and she becomes feminine. So it's like in Duel of the Fates, you get the most realistic
Yeah.
version of Rey that I've seen in any of the movies. In episodes 7, 8, and 9 is the one that we got. Rey has this kind of asexual relationship with everybody. She's not really a woman. She's just she looks like a woman and she acts she that's it. It's a female playing the character, but if you close your eyes and if you didn't hear the voice, you couldn't really tell what gender she was. It wasn't obvious that her gender helped define her position in the galaxy. Where with Rey and Padme, I'm sorry, with Leia and Padme, it
Well, they were
absolutely
very
does.
feminine characters while still being badass.
And
Yeah.
super powerful. So um but anyway, yeah. Is she a Mary Sue? I have no, like, the whole Mary Sue thing is ridiculous because, like, it's actually a term from Star Trek. It actually started in Star Trek, like in the old series. Um, is she OP? Yeah, she's way too OP to the point that it's
100%.
completely unrealistic.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She's OP. She's like in Warzone. It's like those kids that we run across that have aimbots.
It's those guys.
That like like you look at. It's those guys.
She is.
She's an aimbot.
She's
not a Mary
She's a
Sue.
12-year-old with an aimbot. I had a story idea that Luke during episode 8, and when he force projected himself, it was because he had a lot of unfinished business, so the force projected himself to many places, speaking multiple people. I'm not sure I follow that one.
I'm sorry, say
It's
it again.
Okay. I didn't really understand it.
Okay.
Jay is saying that Luke in episode 8 force projected himself because he had a lot of unfinished business, so the force projected him to different places.
Yeah. Look, I'm not a big fan of episode 8, man.
No, me neither. Huge thank you from all of us in the Star Wars Theory Minecraft builds Discords. I hope this money helps. Can't wait to build more with you. Thanks, man. Yeah, if this server goes well, I'm gonna pay the full year, which is gonna be like like $1,200 or something.
Yeah, raise an aimbot, dude. I want to get that T-shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Can you make some Star Wars Rule of Two merch, bro? Can you drop some Rule of Two merch?
Yeah, we can make some Rule of Two merch.
I want a T-shirt, bro.
Yeah, let's do that. We need to come up with a
Just
new
get me
logo.
a T-shirt, Daddy. Daddy, what? We can't use the old logo for the shirt?
Well, we have to combine ours, right?
Yeah, just look. All I want is a T-shirt, bro. Okay, just.
Bro, I got so much merch.
Me,
like you
right?
want? That's the T-shirt you want? What the hell?
I want a Rule of Two shirt.
We'll get on it.
And in the back, I wanted to say. In the back, I wanted to say Rey is an aimbot.
Would you guys, if we make Rule of Two shirts, would you guys buy them? Because I gotta have them made. Gotta have them designed. Type 1 if you would. Mr. Memes is clapping back. He says Rey is a Mary Sue. Name one time she lost to Kylo. Game Station 3. Oh, well, she did lose to Kylo on the Death Star. By the water. In episode 9. That was the only time.
Yeah, but
then he feels his mother die, and she's like, "All right."
Oh,
yeah, and she can see that he's completely distracted, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill you now."
Yeah, dude, Rey's the worst. She really is. I love
Daisy Ridley.
I love Daisy Ridley.
Game Station says now, not every flaw is physical; they can be emotional. Please watch Giggle's video in defense of Rey. I'm not watching any video, man. I don't need to watch someone's YouTube video to see a defense of anyone or offense of anyone. Rey is a very unflawed character. She's a perfect character in the sense that it's not in a good way, but overpowered. She's like, when does she ever learn anything? Okay, if you think Rey is a Mary Sue, type 1. If you think she isn't, type 2. Would love to see Hayden come on the show and to hear the thoughts on the Rise of Skywalker and how they used him in it for Anakin's struggle in the Clone Wars building up to Episode 3. I doubt he could talk about that, and I doubt I don't doubt, but what do you think? You think we could get him?
Hayden? Dude, we talk about this on every podcast, dude. Like last time we said the best we can do is go up to that farm in the middle of nowhere where he lives and post out out there. And hope to God we get him when he's on his way to go get milk. But this pandemic, like we have no shot,
Yeah. Or I could hire him for a fan film. Maybe he'd be up for that. I don't know. But I'm sure he's just very expensive.
I mean, look, maybe we could put our money together and see if we can get him on the show, pay him to be on the show.
I'm already losing enough money with the Vader fan film. I don't need to lose any more, all right? What's that video gonna get? Like 1 million views, 2 million views? What? I'm gonna be out like what, $100,000 again? No.
What, dude? No, I'm saying we pay him like I don't know, $1,000 or something.
He doesn't care about $1,000. The guy did like 4,000 signatures and pictures and photo ops at Celebration alone, and they were like $200 each. He doesn't care.
Right. But he's there for a whole weekend though. He's got to leave the farm.
He's got to leave the farm. Yeah, I guess we could. Man, it would be cool if he could FaceTime in. That'd be. I mean, he's too cool. But
Anyway,
Yeah,
one day we'll
that'd be
get him,
nice. Maybe I
guys.
could
One day
ask
we'll
him.
get him.
I mean, I really don't think he cares about money, but I mean, if especially not at this point in his career, but yeah, I don't really know how to go about getting him. I know I have connections to him. I have the producer of my fan film is friends with a guy who is, I think, friends with him or works closely with him or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know. Just get Ryan on the show or call in.
All right, I'm not getting Ryan on any show unless we get some Rule of
Okay,
Two
yeah, tons of
shirts,
people
bro.
spammed one. They want Rule of Two shirts. Okay, fine, let's do it. And then what on the back it says Rise, my friends. A Ray is an aimbot.
Raise a name.
Theory: could you host a Star Wars watch party? What's that? Also, Kylo. Oh, like oh, I see what you're saying. Like watch the Phantom Menace at 7 o'clock, or whatever. Okay. Also, Kylo doesn't get enough respect. He is the first actual character to train as a youngling since they were taken down in Order 66.
I actually agree with that.
What's the deal? Yeah, dude, he's been
agree
trained
with
as a youngling, and he still gets beaten up every time by a girl who's never trained.
Kylo Ren is the best thing by far in the sequels. It's
No.
not even close. It's not even close. He is such a cool character. He is a Skywalker. You know, he's the only thing in the sequel trilogy that even resembles George Lucas's vision for what the sequels are supposed to be.
But you know
is
what Kylo's
Kylo Ren.
like?
He's
I feel
the
like
only
he's like
thing.
okay, name a professional athlete, like a really good one. All right, he's like LeBron James's grandchild who thinks he can be just as good, if not better, than LeBron, but like doesn't get any of the athleticism.
But do you think it's that bad? I don't think it's that. He has the talent.
We didn't see it.
I mean, he kicks everybody else's ass. I mean, he kicks everybody else's ass.
But that's like saying, like an amateur basketball player, like, what are you doing?
His like stupid thing that went viral, like just before the pandemic hit, of like everybody doing like the thing where like he does a little head nod right before he fights
the solo thing where he's like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
God, dude, that was like weeks before the pandemic
hit. Back when life was normal.
You know,
go to the store without getting eaten by zombies or something.
Back when people were posting like pictures of their brooms standing up.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, what do you think happened to Broom
That's
Boy?
how. Oh God. I'm sure one of those novels explains it. Like, oh, actually, Broom Boy does show up in the Duel of the Fates script. Broom Boy is in it. He doesn't have a big part, but he is in it.
That's kind of cool.
Anyway,
not really. I mean, whatever. But what platform do you play Warzone on? If it's Xbox, we should play. I play on PC, and it's cross-platform, so it doesn't matter. I meant Luke could force project himself across the galaxy at the same time. I didn't like Episode 8, but force projection was an interesting idea. It was an interesting idea if he didn't die. Are you guys going to get Sam Witwer back on soon? Yeah, I don't know if he has time. What do you think, Marc?
I'd love to get him back on. Sam Witwer, man, I'll say it here and I'll say it again because I say it every time I'm on the show and his name comes up. Sam Witwer has forgotten more Star Wars than I'll never know. The guy is brilliant. And I'm in awe of his Star Wars brain. He's a lot of fun to talk to. And he's kind of like an old Jedi master. I mean, he knows the ways of the Force. He's the real deal, dude. Sam Witwer's the real deal. And I'd be honored to get him back on the show one day, and I hope we
can. You
think
Daisy Ridley would come on the show? Sometimes I wonder if there are some people who just wouldn't come on the show because of me. Like they're restricted by Disney or something like that.
Those people aren't part of the Disney family anymore, dude.
Which is weird. I don't even know why I'd be on that list. Why? Because my fan film got copyrighted, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Everybody needs a bad guy,
I guess.
I mean, look at your hat.
Yeah. Right. I'm wearing the.
Is Disney making money off that hat?
Disney makes a lot of money. I've made more money for Disney, I think, than they know because no, I'm sorry, no, I'm wearing the Senate hat, right? It's the Senate hat.
Yeah. It's a
It
good
is,
hat.
it's a cool
It's a
hat,
good hat.
yeah. No, man, there's so many messages and comments that I always get being like, "Oh, like I love Star Wars again because of you. I hated it for what Disney did, but now I like it again." And that's great, but
That is great.
it's whatever. Whatever they want to consider me as, I don't know. If Sam came back on, would you consider going longer? Yeah, sure, if he wanted to. Should they continue the story after episode 9, and what would you like to see? It's kind of dead.
Yeah. I'd like to see Luke wake up and say, "Damn, that was a bad dream."
Episode 10.
Because that's how
Luke
I
wakes
feel,
up
dude.
from a cold sweats, just like Bob Iger, being like, "Yo, I gotta fix it. I gotta go back and fix George's dream." I don't think that's why he's back.
Right. It's like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Marty, we gotta go back. Why, Doc? Do my kids turn out to be a couple of assholes or something? No,
it's
your
you.
Kids are fine.
It's you, Marty.
It's you.
You got to get in your DeLorean and say that.
Oh God. Yeah.
Can you read my super chat? What's your super chat? Have you ever heard or talked about Twin Suns billboard project? Wonderful project to reunite the fans. They could use the exposure for sure. No, I have not. Should they continue? We already read I think we've pretty much read all of them. Should we?
Yeah,
You
look,
should
it's
play
been a good
episode 3,
show.
Tiny.
Like,
Yeah, I love these shows because it's like, while we can't get that many guests, I feel like a lot of people really appreciate when we get on the show and just talk, because we're not talking about, something in particular. It's just broad spectrum of really anything. And the conversation, you never know where it goes. That's why these podcasts are so fun. And I love doing them.
Yeah, dude, and like, look, and I love doing them, and it's a lot of fun. We'll keep doing them. We'll be here every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. And like until then, there's a storm coming, Annie.
Better get inside.
What do you think? Here's my super chat question. What do you think happened to that old lady?
Super chat question? Where's the money?
It's in the mail. Okay, the money's in the mail. What happened to that lady?
I don't know. Rumor says she's still on Tatooine somewhere.
Where does this rumor come from?
From my head. I just made it up.
She's just. I mean, she obviously passed away, right?
Lady. If she didn't, she looked like she was in her 60s or 70s, during episode 1. So it was like 20-something years later.
I gotta admit that in episode 9, at the end,
that's who you thought it was?
Shows up, I don't know.
Get the hell out of here! Could you imagine? Could you imagine that's who it is? Oh my God! Oh my God! It sounded like her too. Marc, you're blowing my mind.
It did sound like her.
What?
Dude, this is what I do, bro.
Wow, I feel sorry for the people who just left because I said, all right, we're almost done. All of you who are still here, spam 1 and hit like. We just figured it out. Could you imagine?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Dude,
like,
there should have been a storm coming, and she should have said, "There's a storm coming. Better get in." Could you imagine?
Right?
Only the real fans would know. Only the real ones would really understand who that is.
Right.
Oh.
Right. There's a storm coming, Ray. Hey, by the way, what's your last name?
So cool. That would have been really cool.
Look, Tatooine got done ugly in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
There is no Tatooine.
We didn't get any. I know, that's my point.
All of Star Wars got ugly in Galaxy's Edge, man. It's just Batuu. What is that? We have no connection to that. I mean, it's cool. I love being there. It's a really cool place. But I mean, they could have done so much more. And
God,
and
it's
and I,
just
and I
like
told you, remember, like, oh, okay, fam, let's go to Hoth. And you go to Hoth, and they can sell those cool jackets that they were wearing on Hoth, and you're drinking like Tauntaun hot chocolate or something.
have you seen that mock-up? I think I sent it to you a while back. That guy made of like a fake Star Wars theme park, and it's got like all the
Yeah. I did
lands.
a video on it. That guy reached out to me, and he's like, I think he was gonna make another one or something. He made a George Lucas land, and he also made another one. It was really
Yeah, that's
cool.
cool,
Yeah,
man.
that's what they should have. I don't know, man. What the heck? Like, maybe there are things that I just obviously there are things I don't know when it comes to building a theme park. But I just feel like if sky's the limit with money, kind of, then why don't you just do? I mean, you're gonna make the land. Do they have like copyrights or something? Is that my theory is that maybe they're like moving away from like
They own it.
they don't own
They own
episode
it.
4 though.
They own it all, dude. They own everything. There is a rumor that's unsubstantiated, has never been proven, has never been backed up by any facts, that if they use characters from the old films, that they got to keep paying
Yeah, that's what I
Lucas
thought.
extra money. That's just a rumor. That's not substantiated by any kind of reality or fact. That's just like conjecture. That's a rumor. There's nothing backing that up.
So they own it.
They own it all.
They just choose not
They own
to.
it all, dude. Yeah, they thought like somebody with power said we got to get past
Kill
the
the
old
past.
shit and move it. Yeah, kill the past. Let the past die.
Yeah, right. Let the past say. Yeah, you can tell I've only seen The Last Jedi twice. Last time I
Only
saw it was
twice.
when it was in theaters. Yeah.
So I haven't been able to sit through the Rise of Skywalker again. I've seen the Last Jedi twice in its completion. I've tried to watch it again, and I'll watch snippets here and there. Um, the Rise of Skywalker, I've only seen twice in theaters. I've never been able to sit through it since it came
I
out.
saw The Force Awakens twice. I saw The
It's
Last
tough.
Jedi twice, and I saw The Rise of Skywalker twice in theaters.
Yeah, and I saw Revenge of the Sith twice in the last
Yeah.
2 weeks. So it's like, and I probably have seen it 200 times in the past like
I'm
15
sure
years.
I've
So
seen every Star Wars movie besides the sequels. I don't know, dude. Maybe close to 1,000. Easily.
yeah, yeah, sad
Easily.
dude. There's a storm
Yeah.
coming, Annie.
Better get inside.
Anakin, Anakin, drop.
What if Anakin didn't drop?
Oh, dude, that's a good fanfic.
Yeah,
What if
I miss my
Anakin
fan
doesn't
fictions.
drop?
That's how I started the channel, man. That's like what made me kind of different from everyone else because they were so far-fetched. Type 1 if you want me to bring fan fictions back. Type 2 if fan fictions are what brought you to the channel. We'll let that circulate for 20 seconds until it shows up.
All right. Well, look, we've been streaming now for 77
bro.
minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a ride.
It's been good though,
and then I'll be back and we can do some Warzone. You down?
Rise. Yeah, I'm down. I'm
All
down,
right.
dude.
Dope. Cool. Okay, well, wow, look at all you guys spamming the 1s and 2s. That's cool.
Yeah, man. It's always fun.
It is always
it's always
fun.
fun.
It's great. We got a couple super chats left here. Any chance on Filoni coming on the show? That'd be cool if he has time.
I mean, look, once we get back into the normal stuff and everything is kind of going normal again, I can start doing outreach again. We can start pulling levers and stuff, and maybe we start getting people back in the studio.
Full power.
Yeah. Look, now we're in hiding, dude.
Collider will be fully operational when your friends when the corona dies.
God.
Buddy. In episode 9, Palpatine wanted Rey to kill him so he could take her body, similar to Return of the Jedi. What if when Palpatine killed Plagueis, took over his body, so Palpatine is actually Plagueis? No, because Plagueis thought essence transfer was really stupid. He thought it was lame. Watch my video. It was like 2 days ago I made it. It's a really good one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and if you guys want to keep the conversation going, like hit me up
Yeah.
on Twitter at Marc Fernandez, MARC Fernandez, and yeah, it's always fun during the week. I mean, look, basically, we got a lot of time to think during this pandemic. So,
Canada said, this is going to go on for the next 12 to 18 months until we have a cure for it or something like that, or a vaccine or something, which you never even know what those vaccines give you. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And ad rates are just like in half. So it's like views are up. Ad rates are just terrible.
I know, man. And like, look, and it's just like right now I'm batting about 30% in the gulag. So it's just things are not good. My kill count is going up though, and my KD is going down.
That's good. That's good. Gotta unlock that
and I did get
the thermal on the MP7.
Right. I did get the thermal on the M4. Now I'm working on the thermal for the MP7.
Tight.
Which is probably what we'll do tonight.
Basically, the gaming channel, whenever we live stream Rule of Two with, or Warzone, Call of Duty with Marc, it's like an extended Rule of Two. So, guys, go check it out. I had an awesome time. Sorry if I didn't get to everyone's questions, but we got a jet. And, I think they should have left the Skywalker series with 1 to 6 and had JJ maybe a Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, that would have been cool. Anyways, there's a storm
coming, Annie.
Better get home quick. Get inside. All right, buddy. I'll catch you tonight. I'll text you when I'm back home.
Don't forget.
Oh yeah, right. All right, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we'll see you next week where we'll show you, everything in the Minecraft server that the Star Wars community has created. It's gonna blow your mind. I know some of you are like, Minecraft, who cares? It is unbelievable what they've done. Like, there's like dioramas of you'll see. It's insane. And of course we'll carry the conversation as well. So until then, remember, rise, my friends.